Hello, and thank you for joining me today. Well, this is the Monday, March the 10th edition of our video devotionals. Thank you so much for joining us today, and hope your Monday's going well. It is the beginning of another work week and school week once again, and hopefully you've had a good weekend and Sunday, and we had a good day at church yesterday. And matter of fact, we put out on our church marquee, if someone would notice our sign, if you're a first-time visitor, if you'd come in, then you'd receive a free gift for that. Just mention the word sign. So we had a lady come yesterday and I asked her, how'd you find out about us? First time visitor. She says, I saw your sign. I said, well, I got a gift here for you. So we gave her a gift card and was able to take her out to lunch and spend a little bit of time with her. First time visitor. And that was a blessing. So if you saw that on Facebook where I'd posted it maybe a week or two ago and you prayed for us, then thank you for that. Then you're a kind of a recipient of an answer to prayer. All right. Well, we're going to be in 1 Corinthians chapter 4 today. We're going to be in verse number, let's see here, verse number 15 for sure. We might read down to verse 21, the end of the chapter, but verse 15 for sure. Find that, 1 Corinthians 4:15, if it is your custom. Otherwise, thank you for watching. We appreciate the prayers. And, of course, we had requested prayer for a family whose little 3-month-old boy had passed away due to the RSV. Remember that family. Christy, I guess since we met, let's say, I think it was Saturday, she had a great aunt pass away. So we'll be going down the end of this week and take her down on, I think, Friday. And the service will be on Saturday. I think I come back on Friday evening. She'll stay in through Tuesday because we have the FBN Radio Share-a-thon, which will happen on Monday through Saturday. We'll do Monday and Tuesday, a couple of shifts there. We'll say a little bit more about that. But anyway, a lot going on, busy times, but also people that need prayer, okay? All right, so I want you to notice here in 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 15. Now, on Mondays, we've been emphasizing the word gospel. So we're doing a Bible study in which on Wednesday nights we emphasize the word gospel as it's found in the Bible. Now, this coming Wednesday, we'll look at chapters 9 and 12 that uses the word gospel in 1 Corinthians. As a matter of fact, 1 Corinthians 9 uses the word gospel more than any other chapter of the Bible. So we're going to be in 1 Corinthians 4:15. Notice this. This is Paul speaking to the church at Corinth. For though ye have 10,000 instructors in Christ, yet have ye not many fathers. For in Christ Jesus I have begotten you through the gospel. Wherefore I beseech you, be ye followers of me. I think we're going to stop there. There's some more I could read, but Paul is saying there was a little bit of an issue of Paul being accepted there or being followed as far as the teachings and all of that. And Paul was saying here through the Holy Spirit, says, look, you can have 10,000 people tell you how to live for God, and if they're telling you the right thing, that's wonderful. He says, but you don't have very many that you can say that person won me to Christ. That's what the language means here in verse 15. He says, I have begotten you through the gospel. In other words, you were born again through the gospel message, and somebody had to give you that. That somebody happened to be either the Apostle Paul or someone part of his group. But he says compared to the 10,000, and of course it could be an innumerable number, but he said if you had 10,000 people that can instruct you, he says, but you have somebody that's actually won you to Christ. You've been begotten through the gospel. So first thing I want to say is this. If you can remember whoever it was who led you to Christ, then thank God today for them. In my case, on the night that we got home from church on November 14, 1976, we'd gotten home from church. I believe our pastor had preached on the second coming of Christ. I'd been struggling whether I knew I was saved or not. I went forward when I was 7. The church could have gotten saved there, but I just didn't. I was scared. I was afraid. Didn't know if I was saved. The Lord come back, then I'd be left behind. And certainly if I died or eventually, I'd end up going to hell. But the point is this. I got up in the night. We hadn't gone to bed very long. My mother may have not even been asleep, but I remember I kind of walked the halls a little bit, and then I went in there and woke my mother up and said, I don't think I'm saved. And so she came out and brought her Bible with her and shared with me the gospel. So I can thank God for my mother who gave me the gospel, even though I'd heard it many times from my pastor and others. And I even knew the verses. I mean, I knew, kind of the Romans road. At least I knew the gist of it. I was 12, but still I knew them. But the point is, someone actually led me to Christ, and that was my mother. Now, it may have been, in your case, a pastor, it may have been your family, it may have been a Sunday school teacher, someone who knocked on your door, perhaps. We just use the term soul winner. But first off, thank God that someone carried the gospel to you. And secondly, thank God that they carried the gospel, in other words, the truth to you. You know, a lot of people could teach a lot of things, but the first thing is the gospel. Thank God for people who do carry the gospel. And when he said here in verse number 16, wherefore I beseech you, be ye followers of me. It's easy for people to say that, but you know what? You can trust somebody who knows the gospel and shares the gospel. For the most part, that person knows the truth and knows the other truths of the Bible, so to speak. If someone knows the gospel and indefinitely is willing to carry the gospel out to other people, share the gospel through a tract, through the New Testament, preaching the message. You know, there's people that stand on street corners in cities and they preach the gospel. There's people that just will talk to people and go door to door. This past Saturday, I went deliver some groceries to a gentleman that was requesting some food, some assistance for he and his 93, 94-year-old mother. And while I was there, I went up to the next corner of a street, and I looked down and back, and I'd seen some people out on their porch, a lot of folks actually. And I said, you know what, I'm going to go sow with him right here on this block right here. Never even been on the street ever in my life. So I parked my truck, got out, took my church tracts, and I started from one side and worked my way down the other. Had some good visits. I won't get into that, don't have time. What I'm saying is I was willing to share the gospel, give someone the gospel, and have the gospel with me. So today, thank God for whoever had delivered the gospel to you. And let's do our best to deliver the gospel to others, okay? All right, so that's what we have for you today. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll be in the book of Joshua, I believe, tomorrow. And hope you have a great day, safe day, healthy day, Lord willing. Again, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.